Yeah, for me, when I was like not sold, I'm like, oh, whatever, this is just gonna be another fundraising program, I'll check it out. But when he showed me that spreadsheet and showed this is what people have raised without them, and then the next dinner, the increase, I thought, whoa, this is legit. These are the actual dinners that they have done. And the major clincher was, I saw when Lena went to Yuba City and they tried in a very low income area. And of course you're not going to raise as much as other areas. And then I saw him raise 171,000. I'm like, what? Like, they're doing something right that we need to tap into. So I've been trying to further my education with fundraising so I can support all of you. And I've taken a few different classes. I've taken one with Christina. We did the missions increase, and that was good. I learned quite a few things from that. And I've also looked at a few other programs. But then one day it was, I think Christina, again, she forwarded me an email from this random guy named Jason about this program called Fundraising Masterminds. When I saw the email, I thought, it's probably just like another fundraising program, and I'm not going to be super impressed. I'm probably going to know, sounds really bad of me, but I'm probably going to know everything that they're going to say, and I'm not going to be impressed with it. And it's just going to be one of those other things that tells you how important fundraising is, and it doesn't give you any practical knowledge. But I was like, okay, I'll meet with this guy, Jason, and, I'll see what he has to offer, and I'll probably not be very impressed. I was even late to the meeting. I didn't really care much at all for Jason. So then I met with him, and he started talking, and I realized he knew CEF. He loved CEF. His family was involved with CEF. He knew some of the local directors that I personally know from Tennessee. When I went to Tennessee on a trip, I got to encourage a new local director, and it's the same director that works in his area. And we started talking about things, and I was kind of telling him how great some of our fundraising programs were. And then he shared about his program, and I was completely astonished with his program.
In this lesson, we're going to be talking about some common misconceptions of a vision dinner.
It sounds so right, doesn't it? If you get people's heart, their money will follow. Everybody tends to think that way.
How to motivate table hosts and to keep them engaged throughout the process of your vision dinner.
Someone getting dressed up and being herded into a buffet like a cattle call is not something that excites people.
We're going to be talking about exactly how to negotiate the contract with the hotel.
It isn't getting Mr. and Mrs. Megabucks on your board.
I was completely astonished with his program and what he has done and how he's been able to support and help local ministries throughout the entire country and really boost their fundraising efforts. And he had this program called the Perfect Vision Dinner through Fundraising Masterminds. And I was like, well, before I roll this out to chapters, before I even consider it, I need to go through it. So myself and Ree and Corriday are all taking the Fundraising Masterminds course. And the best thing about it is that it is super practical, and it gives you step-by-step details of what you should do and what you shouldn't do.
I just want to say that, I've been part of the course since the beginning with Chelsea, and I do love how detailed it is. Like she said, the step-by-step is so cool. It's very professional what they're working towards to kind of like do the presentation, when they show you the pictures, when they guide you in terms of like the location, the table, the setup, the TV, the AV. I mean, they are detail oriented. I mean, it goes into the, every single thing. And just being part of this process, you've been able to see it come to life. We haven't done our program, but the people inside of the chat, they're showing their invitations. They're showing their save the date. They're showing the stuff that they're putting together. And I mean, you get everything, the templates, the script, it seems so cool. When we did that name storming session, I was like, Chelsea, this is the key I have been missing. I was like, oh my goodness, let's get them all in the room, and have the conversation and get them to put the names out. And, when the people came back and they said, we got 95 names, we got 200 names, I was like, that's awesome. You're bringing everybody together and you're working toward it. It's awesome, you guys. I think it's really great. And I mean, they really don't leave you hanging any step of the way. I mean, they're guiding you in terms of how you want people to arrive, what you want people to do when they arrive, what you want them to do when they get in the room, what you want them to say, all the interaction, who should be part of this team. That it's all there, so it's.
Each local chapter has to do it themselves. Each program is one dinner specific. So you have to go into it with a mindset of, Silicon Valley is going to do one perfect vision dinner, and we're going to plan for one dinner in this location. And like with Greater Sacramento, I mean, you guys did 4 banquets last year, but you'll have to realize that this fundraising masterminds program, it's designed to help you do one dinner with complete excellence. So that's why it has to be per chapter. It can't be one fee.
Well, I would just say, and I'm on my way out, so I'm torn because this is an excellent program, and I would say that as excellent as CEF has been to lead a child to Christ with the gospel, this has always been the weakest area. Of the 4 months that you spend in CMI, you might get a day or a half a day on banquets. And so this is something that I would say would be critical, that, I would encourage Deborah to do it, who will be taking my place, and sell that with our committee and be able to build it into our budget, because it's the most critical part in the last 20 years that I've been involved with CEF, because honestly, the Lord is graduating the saints that used to give, huge gifts in their wills or other things, and they're going home and their children don't give like their parents gave. Missions doesn't have the same resonance with this generation and the generation that's younger than me, of course. So I do think that it's excellent. And as I'm stepping out the door to retire, I would just endorse it and encourage it as much as possible.
I have been really blessed by the short amount of time that I've been in this class, and I have learned so much. And I went to the very first class. I thought, okay, this is what we have been missing.
Having it be required is going to be a lot easier to convince my local committee.
Even if you go a little bit over budget this year, it will, Lord willing, work out this next year, because if you follow the recipe, and that's something I encourage everyone to do. You have to come in with a blank slate, open mind, and just say, yes, Jim and Jason, you know what you're doing, and we're going to follow that. Because that's what I did. And my ears perked up every time they said something different. So if they said something different about sponsoring for banquets, I was like, oh, that's different than what I've been trained, and that's different than what I know. And I've kept hearing like these little things like, okay, that's different. Okay, that's different. And those are the things that I've really been perking my ears up to. So I've learned a lot, and the few things we've put into practice have really paid off. Yeah, for me, when I was like, not sold. I'm like, oh, whatever. This is just going to be another fundraising program. I'll check it out. But when he showed me that spreadsheet and showed this is what people have raised without them, and then the next dinner, the increase, I thought, whoa, this is legit. These are the actual dinners that they have done. And the major clincher was, I saw when Lena went to Yuba City and they tried in a very low income area. And when she came back, I was like, I'm not surprised that it was the lowest fundraising banquet, because it's in Yuba City. It's a low income area. And of course you're not going to raise as much as other areas. And then I saw him raise 171,000. I'm like, what? Like, they're doing something right that we need to tap into. So if we are raising, $100,000 in places like Silicon Valley or Central Coast, just imagine how we can make that step up and maybe raise 250,000 at the next one. Who knows? We'll see what the Lord does, but I am thrilled.
first met Jim, and he said he's been doing this for 40 years. He was someone I could learn a lot from. And if you're in a similar position as me and having never done one or maybe only done a few, and you have your own preconceived notions of what this should be, you should really give Jim an opportunity to try to sell you on his method, because I think it worked well for us.